Yeah, I'm really starting to finally understand the offense and the things that we do. Like, I didn't do too much in college, so now that I'm opening my game up a little bit, I'm really excited for the season. Even when he was away during OTAs, like, texting me like, hey, I saw this on the film, you could have done this better. Like, that's a real teammate right there. And him being out but still being on the sideline and giving me tips every time I come back to the sideline, like, that's really helpful. And just someone who loves the game of football, that's really a great teammate to have.
Jadarian Price speaking with the media over the weekend. He was talking there about Zach Charbonnet, helping him out with some things in the running back position. He also mentioned that George Halani has been a huge help. Let's bring back in Dave Softy Mahler of Sports Radio 93.3 KJR FM. And Softy, we talked a little bit about the Seahawks. I want to get to the Huskies as well, but you have to like what you're seeing from Price and the fact that yesterday and throughout the first days of minicamp or training camp, he's been working on his pass blocking because, as in years past, if you're a Seahawks running back and you're not helping out with pass blocking, you're not going to be on the field.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Kenny Walker sometimes was off the field, right, on third down, because he wasn't the world's best pass blocker. So to have a complete guy would be great. Guys, I just kind of feel like the day and age of the running back getting 300 carries and not doing this thing by committee are kind of over, right? I mean, the real question is who's going to be the second guy behind Jadarian, and will Charbonnet be ready by the opener? Will Emmanuel Wilson, who they picked up over the offseason from Green Bay, will he make the football team? Because it kind of feels that they do right now, maybe outside of Price, and we haven't seen him much yet, so it's almost unfair to put him in this category, that they don't really have a big-time game breaker. They just have a bunch of Jags, right? Just a bunch of guys right now on this football team. It took Kenny Walker a long time to kind of prove his worth in Seattle, and he proved it over the last 6 weeks of last season. He was instrumental. He was putting up McCaffrey-type numbers over the offseason, and a big reason why the Seahawks got the number 1 seed and won the title. So I'm just a little bit nervous right now, really curious, Paul and Chris, to be honest with you, what their running game is all about. I do think it's an awesome time for a young guy to come in here because of the offensive line they've got. We talked about that a week ago, that this might be the first time since from 2004 going into 2005 that they have the entire starting 5 back from the previous year. And now Anthony Bradford's getting pushed a little bit by the kid from Iowa, and people think he looks even better in training camp and kind of came on at the end of last year. So it's a great time to have a young back, but I'm just not sure about their depth, and I'm not sure yet if they have a game breaker, and we're not going to know until at least week 1.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to get our first look at HBO Hard Knocks. Sam Darnold spoke with the media, was asked, who do you think is going to be the big star? I know a lot of people have said it's going to be Devin Witherspoon, A.J. Barner. Sam Darnold thinks Coach Mike Macdonald's actually going to become the big star of this show. Your thoughts? You excited to watch this tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, I am. I think there's a side of Macdonald, Chris, that we don't even know about, to be honest with you. I mean, he comes across, doesn't he, guys, as this kind of, oh, shucks, gee, golly type of guy sometimes, right? With the, we did not care, right? I mean, he just sounded so uncomfortable when he said that. But that's our guy, man. It's like the Kingdom was our dump back in the day, and we loved it. Yes, it was a dump, but it was our dump. That guy may be a bit of a goober, but damn it, he's our goober, and we love him to death. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they show a side, Paul and Chris, of Mike Macdonald that we maybe haven't seen yet. I've heard from people behind the scenes that he might be a little bit more of a ball buster than maybe people think. So to see that on Hard Knocks would be great for fans to kind of finally figure out and get to know maybe the real Mike Macdonald versus the one that we see playing it safe in front of a camera.
Well, there was a report over the weekend, and I'm scrolling through all the social media, where he basically grabbed 2 of his guys that were going in after practice and says, no, go sign autographs. So he's sending a message out there.
Yeah, those Hawk bloggers sent that tweet out about him making sure the guys know where their bread's buttered at training camp, and I love that. I mean, look, this is a guy who obviously has come in here, and to me, he's the star of the show. No disrespect to JSN, no disrespect to Sam Darnold or Byron Murphy or Devin Witherspoon, but he is the biggest asset, in my opinion, that the Seahawks have right now, and he is the biggest reason why the Seahawks won the title, even more so than John Schneider a year ago. What he ended up doing with this football football team is incredible. And people even kind of tend to forget the guy won 10 games his first year. They were terrible in the first maybe month and a half of the 2024 season, and then really kind of took off. It took some time to get that intricate defense in place, with all the communication, things like that this defense relies on. But I think that there is not a football team in the country that would not run to Seattle to have Mike Macdonald be their head coach if he became available. So what I'd love to see, and the Seahawks have tended to do things like this behind closed doors, I'd love to lock this guy up to a John Gruden Raider type contract right now. Give him 10 years, $150 million to make sure he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. I totally agree with you. All right, let's talk some college football. Huskies hold their media day tomorrow, and then it's full bore into a new season. And Softy, the Huskies are picked to finish anywhere between 5th and 7th in the Big Ten. When it comes to positions with this team, where do you think the Huskies are strongest?
Yeah, well, I think that their linebacker core right now is unbelievable with Buddha and Jacob Manu. I mean, guys, we all remember some pretty lean years at linebacker for this Husky football team in the last maybe decade plus or so. And I think getting Buddha back, Tariq Buddha Al-Ukta, the former Coug, and getting Jacob Manu back for one more year, which the Manu thing is really interesting because you guys remember last year, the controversy with Manu is that he only had one more game left to play before he blew his red shirt and would be ineligible for next year, and they picked the UCLA game, which they hammered the Bruins and didn't even need him. Then this 5-for-5 thing comes out, and it turns out that he could have played as many games as he wanted to a year ago. So that was all for naught. But I think the front seven, I think the offensive line has gone from a weakness to a strength. I love John Mills. I love Landon Hatchett. I love Drew Azzopardi. They're going to start Champ at right guard with Garen Hatchett right now coming off the bench. The last time I saw Garen, by the way, guys, he had an elbow pad the size of Egan's chest on his arm. I'm not sure how far away he is from playing. The one big question mark on the offensive line is Cody Green, right? Not that he can't play, not that he didn't have the talent. And Chris, you know the guy from his Eastside Catholic days here in Seattle before he transferred down to LA for a year. He's 18. When was the last time we saw a left tackle start at 18 years old for the Huskies? Left guard with John Mills is one thing. Center with Nick Harris against Alabama at 275 pounds is another. This guy's going to start at left tackle for this football team. So if I'm the Cougs or any other team from the jump, I'm coming right at him to see how much the kid can handle. That and Derek Coleman-Broussard at the other tackle spot on the defensive line. Both 18 years old. Can't wait to watch him play, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't really curious to see how they perform, especially early in the year.
It's funny, as you were talking, I wrote down Derek Coleman-Bruce's name, and he's 18 going on 32. Yeah. I mean, he is a man, and he's going to be fun to watch. The Hatchet boys, they're tough. If they're hurt, they're going to find a way to play. I love those guys. Damon Williams drew a lot of attention in the offseason with his NIL deals. He's been through spring ball with his teammates. All forgiven. We've heard from his teammates how the fans going to treat him.
Don't know. We'll see how he plays. Yeah. It's all about winning, baby. In the words of Al Davis, just win. I mean, if he gets out to a hot start, he's in the Heisman Trophy, contention talk. Huskies are 6-0, 7-0. Go to USC, get a big win over the Trojans, knock off Nebraska, beat Iowa. All will be forgiven. But if he struggles, he's going to hear it. And he's going to hear it from a lot of people, not just in the media, but also at the stadium and, from the fan base. So, look, I'm trying to move on. I don't like, looking at a Husky quarterback and wondering if he's fully committed to the program. We do know one thing. He's going to be here for this year. And for me right now, that's all that matters. I have made a conscious decision as a sports fan, as a college football fan, and a guy that loves the Dogs to look at every year as a one-year entity. Players, coaches, head coaches, everybody is a one-year deal, and we'll reevaluate it when the year comes to an end. So he's going to be here next year. Will he be here? Going to be here this year. Will he be here next year? I got no idea. I know that Jed's talking about there's a chance this guy with the new 5-for-5 thing could maybe play 3 more years total at UW this year and 2 more, right? So he's even throwing that out there, I think, to kind of get everybody all fired up about number 1, who, by the way, is wearing number 1. Damani is wearing Warren Moon's old number now this year. So that's quite an honor. But I don't know, man. Chris, Paul, this is just all about how he performs, how he behaves, how he acts, how he talks. It's all on him. He can dictate how we respond to sports fans in this city.
Well, and to Jed's defense, guys, I mean, honestly, you have to start looking at what am I getting? Where am I going to get picked? Am I going to get picked for the NFL draft? And could Damon make more at the University of Washington than in the NFL, or possibly head into the Canadian Football League? So I don't think Jed's way off on that myself. But
hey, let's talk bigger picture, Softy. Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti led the Hoosiers to the national championship last season. He took a shot at the SEC last week and reminded people the Big Ten has won the last 3 national titles. Is the Big Ten the best football conference?
Yeah. Well, how are we judging the best conference? I think if you asked the SEC 5 years ago, Paul, how do you folks out there judge the best conference? What would they say? By who wins titles is exactly what they would say. So why should it be any different right now? Yeah, the Big Ten's the best conference because they're winning championships. All respect to Nick Saban when he came out about a week ago and said, yeah, but look at the middle of the pack. Nobody cares about the middle of the pack in the SEC. Nobody cares about the middle of the pack in the Big Ten, and nobody gives a damn around college football besides anything else besides who's playing for and who's winning the national championship. That's it. That's all that mattered in the SEC 10 years ago, and it should be all that matters today. Those guys are moving the goalposts all over the place now because the SEC is not having the success that they used to have. So absolutely the Big Ten is the best conference. They've won 3 in a row. They beat up on the SEC in the non-conference. They beat up on the SEC in the bowl games. And guess what else they have, Paul? They got more money, way more money than the SEC does, and those guys know it, and they're in trouble.
All right, some surprising news over the weekend. Someone, Softy, you and I have covered a lot. 24-year-old Jaylen Polk announced his retirement from the NFL. The former second-round pick of the Patriots had a solid rookie season there before a trade to the Saints last season where a shoulder injury kept him from playing any games. Just your thoughts on what Jaylen meant to the UW and this surprise move that he's retiring.
Yeah, I think all those guys, Chris, from that 2023 team to me are legends. I don't care how many of them were one-year players, mercenaries, rentals, whatever. I mean, you get me to a national championship game. You get me to wake up on a Monday morning in Houston dreaming about being maybe 10 hours away from winning a national championship. That whole experience was awesome. I mean, the game sucked, right? The second half, for the most part, was terrible. But just going through that process, I remember that week leading up to it, man, the Sunday night before the game, we're at a bar in Houston, thousands of Husky fans all dreaming about winning a national championship the next day against Michigan. There's not a lot of fan bases that have gotten to experience what that's like, right? To dream that dream for at least a couple of weeks or so. So the opening big play that he had against Texas, where I still wonder why he cut it back inside. If he cuts it to the corner, he probably scores on that long ball. He had the play over the middle where he's juggling it up in the air and catches that for the touchdown against the Longhorns. And don't forget, this is a guy who went through some struggles, right? He was having a real hard time holding on to the football, and then all of a sudden, bang, I think against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, really got back on track and made some contributions. So him, McMillan, Adunze, all those guys, all those dudes that were on the offense, that record-setting offense in 2023, every single one of them to me are absolute heroes, no doubt.
Well said, Dave. Softy Mahler from Sports Radio 93.3 KJR-FM. Listen, man, these Monday visits, they go too fast. I mean, it feels like you're on and you're off too quickly for us, man.
Hey, listen, you know what? I'm in radio, all right? So that means I'm a slacker. That means I have nothing to do. So the more you want of me, man, you just say the word, baby. As long as you let me know where you bought that shirt, I'm in, because I want one for myself.
Dave, I'm going to be honest, because we have fun on the show, but we have to thank you, buddy. I mean, when we put this show together, our news director, Susanna Frame, says, go out and get Softy on this show. And Dave, the news is good. The viewership is up. We're moving the show to King 5 TV. So we have to send a big thanks to you, buddy, because you've been on this show from the start, so we appreciate you, man.
Well, I've been telling people all along that'll listen that I'm the reason for this show's success, so I'm glad to hear you guys finally admit it.
All right, that is next Monday, August 10th. We move to 3 p.m. on King 5, and you know you're going to be with us. We just don't know what part of the week you're going to be with us.